Welcome back. Today we're going to walk to the Colosseum. I just need 20 minutes to travel in time with you. So we'll start from one of the most essential stations of all Europe. We're going to talk about the Italian Unification of the 19th century. I'll show you the home of a criminal Roman noble family of the 16th century. Quickly, we'll visit the Suburra, the area where Julius Caesar was born, and the finish line will be by the Colosseum, built something like 2000 years ago. So I'm really excited to show you how much history there's in Rome. This is Rome's real heart, Termini Station. Daily, over 500,000 citizens and tourists gather in this place, about 150 million every year. Termini is also a cultural symbol. Cinecittà, the most important film studio in Italy, frequently used as a location this very place, which appears real and magic at the same time. The connection between cinema and railway has always been strong. One of the first short movies by the Lumiere brothers, The Arrival of a Train in 1896, which also was recently reconstructed in 4K, was a train entering the local station. From that, how many times we watched a movie scene on a train or in a station? The Termini railway station name refers to the therma or baths of Diocletian, which is really close. The station was renovated in 1999, is considered a masterpiece of modern Roman architecture, but unfortunately the decline of its early 20th century district, the crowds, the suspicious dealings, which are partly connected to illegal immigration and a trivial crime for which the station is notorious, cast a shadow over its proven aesthetic qualities. In 1938, the city began the renewal of the station. The Second World War stopped the project until it was picked up again 10 years later. The conclusion of the project in 1954 was celebrated in the Italian-American film Indiscretion of an American Wife by the great director Vittorio De Sica, starring Montgomery Clift and Jennifer Jones. Just look at this beautiful and large street. This is a modern boulevard. It was made in the 19th century indeed. The 19th century was a time of meaningful change for Italy. The modern world emerged, so it's natural to question how Italy lived during the 19th century. The most notable events of this time revolve around the rise of the Italian Unification movement, known as the Risorgimento, the process that eventually succeeded in unifying many different states into Italy's modern nation. Scholars believe it began at the end of the Napoleonic era, with Vienna's Congress in 1815, and ended with the Franco-Prussian War in 1871. In the late 18th century, liberal ideas from other countries, mostly Britain and France, spread rapidly through the land. The first war for the Italian independence began with the protests in Lombardy and revolts in Sicily. Pope Pius IX fled Rome, and the Roman Republic was then proclaimed upon the arrival of Garibaldi. When Mazzini arrived in Rome in March 1849, he was appointed chief minister of the new republic. Meanwhile, King Charles Albert of Piedmont, Sardinia, joined the war and attempted to drive the Austrians out of the country. It looked like independence for Italy was near. Still, the Austrians eventually managed to successfully defeat Charles Albert in the Battle of Novara in 1849, slowing the country's run towards independence. King Victor Emmanuel II would succeed his father after the war and later become the first king of Italy. On the left side you could see the grand 5th century church dedicated to Mary. And it was called Maggiore, the Great, because its builders wanted to make it the greatest of all churches dedicated to the Virgin. The builders kept the promise of the name. To this day, no other Marian church, and few others for that matter, are comparable to it for grandeur and beauty. Its historical importance is that it's part of the Vatican State territory, even if it's here. So we're still walking on the Via Cavour. The Via Cavour is one of the city's most important streets, connecting the main railway station Termini to the Roman Forum and the Colosseum's archaeological area. At this point, you might wonder, who was Cavour? Well, Count Camillo Benso of Cavour was to become the prime minister of the Kingdom of Piedmont, Sardinia in 1852. It was only because of the Count's leadership and policies that the unification of Italy was possible. Cavour persuaded Napoleon III of France to plan a secret war against Austria. Soon, a war on Italian soil against Austria began. The French troops helped Piedmont defeat Austria in 2 critical battles, at Solferino and Magenta. Austria was quickly forced to surrender the region of Lombardy, along with the city of Milan, to Napoleon III. In 1859, Napoleon III then transferred the region of Lombardy to King Victor Emmanuel II. 2 years later, thanks to Giuseppe Garibaldi's troops, the peninsula was unified under the Savoy crown. Turin became the first capital of Italy's kingdom. Rome didn't become part of it until 1870. You can subscribe to the podcast Rome 101 on Spotify or Apple Podcast if you want to know more about this period. The link is in the description, and weekly in each episode I'm talking about the different moments of Roman and Italian history. Nowadays, the Via Cavour is a bustling street lined with restaurants, beds and breakfasts, and hotels. The creation of Via Cavour dates back to the late 19th century. The new capital's urban expansion involved the reconstruction of many streets and districts, and Via Cavour was one of them. The building permission was given in a city council session in May 1880. The road was planned as a communication axis between the Termini Station and the Fori Imperiali. It was built during the period from 1880 to 1910. In front of us you could see a really low area. That is the beginning of the Suburra Area. Today we call it Monti neighborhood or Rione Monti in Roman. The Suburra became a part of ancient Rome's urban area when the king of Etruscan origin, Servio Tullio, chose it for his residence. It is the most authentic and popular area of the city. The name Suburra comes from the Latin sub urbe, meaning under the city. The fact is that at the dawn of the history of Rome, this part of the city was located at the foot of the Palatine Hill, on which actually the city itself was situated. In ancient times, the street level was much lower than the current one. Therefore, the prefix sub described the location of the area very accurately. Virgil, Horace, Julius Caesar, and the poet Martial also lived in this area. Recently was produced an important movie, and after the movie came the TV show produced by Netflix, both called Suburra. So if you want to see modern day Rome, it feels like being in Rome and Ostia in the middle of an Italian crime drama. You know, it's crude. It doesn't seem to offer any insights into human condition, except that being rotten is pretty much universal. But its depiction of a modern-day Rome with all the evil that men do is raw and compelling. This could be your Netflix next big foreign addiction. Oh my god, somebody parked in a really bad position. Now, if you want to reach the Church of St. Peter's in Chain, you should use these steps on the left, and the beautiful Moses of Michelangelo will be waiting you at the end. I made a tour of the upper area, so you can check it after this video. During the day, this staircase is filled with watercolorists selling paintings of Rome's most famous landmarks. In ancient Rome, this was the site of an alley called Vicus Sceleratus, the Wicked Lane, because traditionally believed to be the place where in 535 before Common Era, Tullia, daughter of Servius Tullius, the sixth king of Rome, and wife of Tarquinius the Proud, the seventh king of Rome, drove her chariot over the body of her own father, upthrown by Tarquinius and killing him. The scandal marked the beginning of the end of the kings of Rome. Tarquinius the Proud would rule for 26 years before he was defeated by what became the Rome's Republic. The Vicus was renamed the Vicus Sceleratus, the evil street. The exact location of the death of King Servius Tullius isn't known. However, the Vicus Sceleratus still runs under the top steps. The sad memories of this place probably inspired another popular belief concerning the building above the flight of steps. It is said that the famous Lucrezia Borgia, daughter of Pope Alexander VI, Rodrigo Borgia, used to poison her lovers in this house. The complex is, in fact, still popularly known as the House of the Borgias. There is no historical evidence, though, that any member of the family really lived here. The house belonged to the Cesarini family, who in time donated it to the local convent. Just look at these huge walls on the left. They were built after the unification of Italy. This was made necessary for the opening of this street where we're walking, the Via Cavour, and they are used to restrain the hill on the top of the Palazzo Borgia and the tower of the Annibaldi, and of course the Basilica of San Pietro in Vincoli. Okay, finally, this is the ending part of our tour. In the end of this street, you can start to see the Colosseum, the incredible monument. The last building on the right side, it's a school, it's an elementary school, so the kids every day, they have the vision of the Colosseum. It's just crazy. The name of this street is Via degli Annibaldi and part of this Monti district. This name derives from the powerful Roman family established in this area in 2040, when Frederick II, their protector, forced the Frangipane to give a part of the Colosseum to them. So again, if you want to have a clear idea of what it was like to live in Rome in this time, I'm talking about 1,000 years ago, I made an episode in Rome 101 just about. So check the description. As you can see, today we still don't have the thousands and thousands of tourists who usually fill the square each day. Nonetheless, this is a great moment to enjoy Rome more intimately. But you know, there was also time before the Colosseum. Nero was ruling in the year 64 AD. During a hot night of July, a fire started some meters from this area. At that same time, Christianity was now 30 years old, and it began in Judea and Galilee. According to tradition, Peter and Paul were among the persecution victims who followed the Great Fire. But it cannot be proven. Nero persecuted the Christians because they were unpopular. They were an easy target. So he took the chance and built in 4 years on all this area destroyed after a fire 80 hectares of his private residence. Just to give you an idea, Buckingham Palace is 10 times smaller. He thought of renaming the city of Rome in Neropolis, so Nero city in Greek. Nero was cruel, immoral, but in other ways he was a success. He was a builder, entertainer of the people. He loved singing. He practiced wrestling. He competed in chariot races and was also an actor. So he was both a mad dictator and a brilliant populist. He broke all the rules, and this made him immortal. Other men were emperors. Nero was a star. His father died when he was 3. He started to rule at 17, so he was really young. At 21, he got rid of his mother. The Senate understood that it was impossible to cooperate with Nero and tried to regain control. In June of the year 68, he was declared a public enemy by the Senate. A Praetorian guard deserted him and he committed suicide on June the 9th. The following year, the 69, was the year of the 4 emperors. 3 were killed. The 4th was Vespasian. He was a victorious general with 2 children and a man of humble origins. He restored peace to Rome and became emperor. After Nero, the economy was really weak. But Vespasian anyway needed to invest in an expensive project. The victory in Judea ensured great booty. The people of Rome wanted to forget Nero. Vespasian wanted to delete all the memories about Nero. So now you need to imagine 50,000 workers in 6 months removed 30,000 tons of land from the Nero's residence. They laid 50 feet of foundation made of cement. 12 miles of roads were built. 200 wagons every day for 5 years moved the 300,000 tons of travertine from Tivoli. It's a city near Rome. And you know, travertine is perfect. It's easy to wash, it's durable, and it doesn't crush under a significant weight. In total, the Colosseum was made with 750,000 tons of stone. Thousands of slaves, but also citizens, masons, blacksmiths, carpenters, marble or bronze workers, and brick builders worked here. The structure was inaugurated a year after the death of Vespasian and it contained 50,000 sitting people, or around 73,000 if the higher tiers would stand up. The Colosseum is 170 feet high. This would be 52 meters, without counting the 6 meters of underground as a building of 5 floors. You know, everybody loves the Colosseum. Today it's the top destination in Europe. 7 million sweaty tourists visited this place in 2019, like the Metropolitan Museum of Art. This is among the 7 wonders of the New World. Probably you have heard about the Great Wall of China, Petra, Taj Mahal, but this was the bloodiest. The activity of this place is impressive. Shows went on for more than 440 years. Hundreds of thousands of animals and men were killed here. You know, for the emperors, this was the best way to achieve political obedience. For the festivities, the parties, the Romans dedicated 170 days of every year of their calendar. So almost every 2 days they were having a party. They imposed affordable prices on wine. They donated oil and pork once per year. The name of this policy was pretty simple: bread and games. I hope you have enjoyed the tour today. You can subscribe right now. New incredible videos are coming up. Videos about the Colosseum, about the Forum, the Palatine Hill, and much more. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I'm Andrew, so subscribe and you can watch a new video right now. Ciao!